because they are very expressive. And therefore the church itself must provide an avenue to hear these people. We must, and youth leaders who are here, you must create that space. Because if we don't create that space, they are going to go elsewhere. And the world is providing that space. Quite quickly, the Gen Zs are what we look at, like what happened with the Babylonian exile. They went into exile. I believe that the Gen Zs are into a digital exile. Yes? And the world is pushing everything at them, right? Relativism, occultism, and these things are pushed as norm. Yes? Certain things are pushed. Some simple things they have taken and they have presented it as something that is normal. And the Gen Zs have accepted this. And therefore, how are we going to reach the Gen Z? We have to have what I call a countercultural approach. We have to create the systems in our church and in our groups that are going to go against what the world is presented to them. We have to also have cultural relevance. So our YPGs have to shift. It is no longer about just sword in hand and step to reach the king or those kind of stuff. No, our YPGs have to shift to more mature conversations. We have to be talking about the days of going to YPG and playing games only is over. And if there's a YPG here that is doing that, young people, this generation is not looking to come to play sword in hand. You better figure out a digital way to play sword in hand. Yes? You have to figure out a more interesting way to represent the same thing that we used to play. And so we have to create that space and that environment where we focus. We can't just focus on shielding them from the world. And one of the biggest issues we have is that we're trying to shield the generation from the world, but our internal systems are failing. So we make it seem like church is perfect. One of the things that Gen Zs want is honesty. And the reality is, ladies and gentlemen, the system of the church is failing. Hello? I am telling you that as a pastor, I am telling you that as a youth leader, the church as it is failing the Gen Zs. And we have to quickly adjust, because if we don't, we will, in 10, 20 years, the church will become irrelevant. And so we must create the space where we are transparent, we are open, we must be willing to talk about things that were once considered taboo in church. There are some things that we feel that we can't talk about in church, but the Gen Zs are asking the questions. What is it you're going to do when they come to you and ask the questions? 2 more points and then I'll allow the panelists to come in. Generation Zs, and the Z really, I forget to say that, stands for Zoomers. It is said that they zoom into the digital age. These set of people are looking, and this is a key point for the youth leaders, they are looking for a context, yes, for contribution. In essence, what am I saying? These are the most creative set of people. In their womb or belly, they have so much to offer, so much to give, so much to do, and they are looking for an outlet to give this creative expression. Now, if the church doesn't provide it, let me tell you where they are going. They are going to the world. You know why? Because they have so much options. And Ken is making the point, which is an example. We have musicians in the church, right? Rajiv and and Jay, we have excellent musicians in the church, but we don't provide the avenue and the space for them to develop and grow. We use them and abuse them. We use them in big functions, and we only give them a water and a juice. We don't. And but the world is saying, come, a secular artist is saying, come and play for me, and I'll give you $100,000. Yes? And so the world creates that space for them. We don't want to invest. I was speaking to one pastor once, and the pastor said to me, I can't pay for the person to go learn music, because as soon as them learn, them gone. That is such a archaic, wrong, terrible, blind-sided, mean, stingy, some words that I want to use, but I'm on the live way to look at it. And the church is suffering because these are the views that we have. Now somebody else is going to pull them